My birthday, instead of waiting for my husband and son to come home to celebrate with me, I received a video from my husband's first love. The video showed my husband and son by her side, and my son holding her close and saying he hoped she could be his mother. After watching it, instead of calling to question him, I quietly packed my bags and signed the divorce papers. It was unusual for my husband Dominic to arrive home at midnight to find the house shrouded in darkness. No matter how late he came home, there was always a light in the house for him. He handed his son Grayson to the housekeeper and strode to the master bedroom. I was sitting on the couch with a neatly packed suitcase next to me and a divorce agreement on the low coffee table in front of me. Dominic frowned. His voice was cold and angry. "Paisley, what is this? Another one of your stunts?" I didn't have the energy for his accusations. My voice was quiet but firm. "I want a divorce." His face showed disbelief. "Why? Because I forgot your birthday?" "It doesn't matter," I replied, pushing the divorce agreement toward him. "Sign it, let's end this." He flipped through the pages mockingly. "You're leaving empty-handed? Where would you even go without me?" A bitter laugh escaped my lips, so sure he had me trapped, that I had no one here in Harrowfell, nothing to rely on. I pushed the papers closer to him. "Sign it, stop wasting time." For a moment, he hesitated, then, his voice hardened. "Fine, divorce it is, but Sonny's custody? That's off the table, you're not taking him." Grayson suddenly appeared, glaring at me with tears streaming down his face. "I'm staying with Daddy. I don't want to go with you. You're a horrible mom, a witch." "Enough, Grayson," Dominic snapped. But Grayson's anger didn't subside. "If you hadn't come between Daddy and Marissa, she would be my mom right now." I cut through the tension with my voice, cold and firm. "I don't care about Grayson. I don't care about anything. I just want a divorce." The words stunned Dominic into silence, his jaw clenched, and his eyes darkened with frustration. "Are you sure about this?" I tossed the pen onto the table. "Sign it, let's end this." Dominic's frustration gave way to a brief hesitation before he signed. I took my copy, grabbed my suitcase, and headed toward the door. 9:00 a.m., tomorrow, City Hall. "Don't be late," I said, my voice steady and unyielding. Just as I was about to walk out, Dominic grabbed my wrist, his grip painfully tight. "Let go," I said coldly. He mocked, "In such a hurry to leave? Got yourself a lover already?" I looked him dead in the eyes. "Dominic, I have never hated you more than I do right now." His hand loosened, but before he could say anything more, I grabbed my suitcase and walked out. The door clicked shut behind me, and it felt like breaking free. The airport buzzed with energy as I prepared to board my flight. Just before stepping to the gate, my phone buzzed. I answered without checking the caller ID. It was Grayson's voice, shrill and desperate, asking for something trivial. I remained calm, telling him to ask Marissa for it. His crying escalated, and soon, Dominic's irritated voice broke through. "Paisley, why are you picking a fight with a child?" I was already boarding the plane, my expression unmoved. "If a child doesn't understand, then the adults should, don't you think?" As the plane ascended, I watched the city shrink below. It was over. I had left it all behind. 4 years later, I was in Harrowfell again, this time in a hospital director's office. Jonathan, the director, smiled as he greeted me. We talked briefly about my time in Harrowfell and my work, but before Jonathan could coax me into teaching, my phone buzzed. I answered quickly, excusing myself with a fake urgent matter. Jonathan shook his head with a smile as I left. Later, in the elevator, I saw the headline, "Vanderbilt's heir spotted with a mystery woman." It was Dominic with Marissa. I smiled, bitter and ironic. He'd sworn there was nothing between them, dismissed me as paranoid, but now here they were, about to get married. He had never even publicly acknowledged me. The elevator dinged as it reached the first floor. I turned and found myself face to face with Dominic. His presence was imposing, his gaze piercing. "Excuse me," I said coldly, brushing past him. I continued walking without sparing him a second glance. He called after me, grabbing my wrist, asking me to explain why I disappeared without saying a word for 4 years. I pulled my wrist free. "I gave up my son. Dominic, what right do you have to demand anything from me?" A car honked outside, and before I could move, a man called my name. I could feel Dominic's grip tightening. "Paisley, who is he?" Dominic asked sharply.